Hey there, it's Jeremy from ECMEC, Instructional Technology Specialist, and we're continuing today with our 12 apps of EdTech Miss. As you would recall from the last 2 days, we learned all about Toby and how to manage your tabs. We learned about screen recording possibilities using Edpuzzle. We experimented around with the digital whiteboard application of Jamboard, and we also got to help manage our students while they were working using Classroom Screen. Today we are going to take a look at two different applications from the company TextHelp. They have free and paid versions, so you're going to want to look at the features that you're going to want to use. But they're very powerful in the things that they can do in both reading and in math. So let's jump right into the first one that is called OrbitNote. OrbitNote allows you to transform and interact with your PDF documents in complete different ways. Used to become much more dynamic and collaborative, and also kind of one of the neat features here is we can use it for some reading for our struggling readers here as well. And I'm going to show you that part of it in just a minute. But here are some of the things that OrbitNote can do. It can read aloud from a PDF, which I know can be somewhat difficult. I know we know how to do Docs and even Word and how to have that read the text aloud for you, but it's difficult for a PDF, especially when it's been scanned. Sometimes it's hard to read that file, but Orbit with those. Orbit allows you to create and share different worksheets, to collaborate, to leave feedback for students. You can use drawing and voice and text features, as well as some highlighting and other things to do with OrbitNote as well. So here's a document, actually there's a PDF that I had scanned once upon a time, that I have now opened up into OrbitNote. And let's take a look at what can be done in OrbitNote. First, using the tools up here near the top, I can hit the play button and it's going to start reading it for me.
Name date. Supreme Court Case Study 30. I see. The legality of evidence seized by the police. Map v. Ohio, 1961. Background of the...
So as you can see, OrbitNote will read aloud the passages that are in that PDF. OrbitNote can also, if we open up some of these other tools here, be used for highlighters, and you can see I highlighted a passage right here. We can use a drawing tool, we can use a text tool, and we can even add different shape tools into here as well. There is also the ability to leave notes for students. Like with that highlight that I had there, maybe I want to pose the question, was there a warrant? And it might allow for students to think more critically about what it is that they're reading. So lots of good things in here with OrbitNote. And again, the best way to learn it is just to jump in and play around with it. The next application is EquatIO, and this one is for you math and science and STEM lovers. Using EquatIO, a way to make math more digital and accessible for many different types of students. EquatIO allows you to speak equations into its expression of what you say when you math or the chemical formulations. Read math aloud to people that have visual impairments. You can customize graphs, you can edit equations, and one of the things that I find really kind of neat about it is the handwriting recognition tool, but it will turn handwritten problems on paper in digital and editable version. So let's take a look at EquatIO. So here I have open a math space from EquatIO, and I'm going to show you first here the recording tool that you can use to read a math equation or a chemical formula, and it will transcribe it for you into a digital format. So I'm going to hit the record button here. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And you can see that as I spoke it, it turned it into this formula that I believe is the Pythagorean theorem. Correct me if I'm wrong, math people. And that's just one of the things that you can do with this. And then I could take this and I could drop it up into that math space above. But another really neat feature here is the handwriting one, which I mentioned before. So I'm going to open up here this EquatIO online, and I'm going to create a new document here. And it's going to open my camera, and I have a couple of equations written on paper that I'm going to take a picture of. And hit the check mark, scan the document, and you can see it brought it in here into that correctly written out formula that I could hit check, and now it's going to ask me if I want to add it, and away I go. So lots of great uses here with both OrbitNote and EquatIO here today. Hope you've enjoyed these. Can't wait until tomorrow when we look at a couple of other new applications that I think you're going to find really creative and get you up and moving. So until then, happy holidays, everyone.